All right, we are good to go. Let's go. Welcome everybody to this very special event for us, the Good Pitch Summit. Now, the reason why we are hosting this event is because at Ideas on Stage, we have two strong beliefs. One belief is that business can and should be a force for good. We are big advocates of business as a force for good. At the heart of everything we do at Ideas on Stage are the entrepreneurs and business leaders who want to change the world for the better. So that's one thing. The other belief that we have is that you can have the greatest idea in the world, and it could be an idea that could make the world a better place. But if you can't communicate it, if you can't present it, if you can't pitch it effectively, then it doesn't matter. And so when you combine these two beliefs, the belief around purpose-driven, mission-driven, social entrepreneurship, and the belief around the importance of communication skills, that's at the heart of this summit, the Good Pitch Summit. So again, welcome everybody. Now, before we get started, just out of curiosity, could you please let me know in the chat, where are you tuning in from? What country are you tuning in from? I'm in London, in the UK. What about the others? I know that we've got a lot of participants today from different parts of the world. Let me see. All right. Oh, Padova, Italy. I'm Italian, of course, London and the Cotswolds. Oh, Philip, great. And Brighton, London, Milano. Okay, so lots of people from the UK, but also the Atlanta, the US, Saudi Arabia. Wow, that's great. That's great. Okay, now I also want to introduce you to Rose and Joe, my colleagues. Rose is the head of Ideas on Stage in the US. She's in Los Angeles, and Joe is based in our office in France. So you will see their names coming up in the chart, and Rose and Joe, feel free to say hi in the chat. Perfect. And also, just for those who don't know me, just a super quick introduction, and then we get started. Now, my name is Andrea. I'm a presentation coach. I'm the head of Ideas on Stage UK. I'm in London, but we are also, as I said, we rose in LA with Joe and other colleagues in France, in Paris, and also Barcelona and Milan. Just to give an idea, in the last 11 years, we've been working with thousands of clients, from small business owners, professionals, and their teams, all the way up to clients like Microsoft, Lacoste, the World Bank. We've been coaching more than 500 TEDx speakers so far. And we specialize in working with established business owners and their teams who want to grow their business and increase their influence through great presenting. And my mission is to change the way people think about presenting. And my vision for the next 10 years is to help 1,000 purpose-driven entrepreneurs share the message, make an impact, and be memorable. Why? Because I believe, like many of you, that if you want to make an impact, the best thing you can do is to be an entrepreneur, a business leader who has a vision that goes beyond just making money. And I know that for them, if we think about the speakers today, for example, for them, if they can use their voice for good, and we like to help them, then we can all contribute to changing the world for the better. So that's why we do what we do. But enough about me. I also want to say a huge thanks to our sponsors. If you've got some representatives, and we should have, from these wonderful organizations, again, feel free to say hi in the chat, share your links, and check them out. If you don't know these organizations, check them out, because they are wonderful organizations for anybody who's interested in purpose-driven, impact-driven, mission-driven entrepreneurship. So we've got Impact Hub, King's Cross, and Social Starters, Social Enterprise Mark CIC, Alia, Live for Good, and the Social Society. So do check them out. And I would say, let's go. Now, here is what we are going to do today. So In terms of a little bit of an agenda, so we've got 8 to 9 speakers, and each speaker will first present his or her idea for just 1 minute. So it's going to be very tough for them, just 1 minute, and all of them. And then I will ask everybody with a very simple anonymous Zoom poll to select your favorite. We need to find 3 finalists. And then the 3 finalists will have an opportunity to present their idea for up to 3 minutes, which is still very short, but it's a bit better than 1 minute. So very tough for the speakers today. And also we have, and I'm going to introduce them quickly, we have 4 highly experienced judges who are going to share their feedback, advice, and input. And by the way, we do have a competition element behind this event, although it's very important for me to mention that the competition and also the advice and the feedback that we will receive from the judges will not be based on who does more good on the world, because that's not the point. Everybody here, all the speakers are doing their best to try and make the world a better place. And you'll see in many different ways. Lots of different topics today, but the competition and the feedback will be based on our speakers' ability today to pitch and present and communicate their ideas in the most effective way. So that's important. The feedback, the competition is based on the communication side of things, not the rest, okay? And here are the speakers. So a very quick introduction. So we've got, I'm really looking forward to this because we've got excellent topics. So we're going to start with Paul, and the topic of his talk is how to build technology for global impact. Will, why every enterprise needs an ultimate social purpose. Jane, how to make delicious ice cream while championing diversity and inclusion. And I know that one of the judges, Maria, loves this. She hasn't seen it yet, but she loves the presentation just because of the ice cream. And then we have Grace, how to offer dog care while providing opportunities for people that are unemployed. Guillaume, if he managed to join, because I know they had some technical issues, how to save startups through regulation. And if you have watched The Social Dilemma, the documentary, I'm sure that many of you have watched it, you may recognize Guillaume because he was featured in that documentary. We've got Dr. Miriam Silver, how to use data-driven technology to improve the lives of vulnerable children. Bastien, how to improve farmers' resilience and food traceability. And Paul Spires, why pitching purpose is like selling socks. I love that title, Paul. Let's see what he has in mind. Why pitching purpose is like selling socks. And here are 4 judges, highly experienced judges: Maria Franzoni, Sapna Pierrot, Todd Churches from New York, and Robin Wade. And again, for the judges, feel free to say hi, share your links in the chat. I have personally chosen these judges because of their vast experience, both from a business perspective and from a communication perspective as well. Okay, so that's it. I would say, let's go. I think without further ado, we can get started with the first speaker. So Paul, feel free to unmute yourself. Perfect, I can see you. And from now on, whenever you want, take your time. We've got 1 minute and you are free to go whenever you want.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Andrea. Hi, everyone. I'm totally timing this, so I'll start the clock.
And begin.
Winning Digital Product Studio. Oh, okay. I'm Paul McGilvery. I'm CTO and co-founder of an award-winning digital product studio named Remote. We build software platforms that transform industries and make a positive impact in the world. Over the course of our 22 years in business, I've led projects for companies from global brands all the way through to new startup challenger brands with scale-ups in between. So we've worked for companies like Sony, Volkswagen Group, Mitsubishi, Tesco, and Volvo. Our mission is to harness technology to create a more human-centered way of working. We want to build economies that are kinder, more sustainable, more productive. And we use software to do that. It's a common misperception that to make a real difference in the world, you need a movement of millions or millions in the bank to even scratch the surface. But we've shown over and over again that with the right people on board, with the right idea, wow, that was...
Very sorry. I'm very sorry, Paul. But as I said, I need to be the bad guy. But first of all, round of applause for Paul. I know this is going to be, that's perhaps the toughest speech ever, because I was very bad. I just gave you 1 minute.
That was much shorter than I thought.
I know, yeah. That's why we always tell our clients that rehearsal, often, sometimes even a lot of rehearsal is really important. But really well done. And so as we move on with the second speaker, also for the judges and for everybody, pay attention, because I will ask everybody to then select your favorite at the end. For the judges, please start thinking about perhaps one thing that you really liked about one of the speakers. Or it could be also one thing that you think could be improved, again, from a communication perspective, because after the first 9 speakers, I would like to get your input as well. Okay, for now, let's go with Will. So we've got Will Saunders, Why Every Enterprise Needs an Ultimate Social Purpose. Again, Will, feel free to unmute yourself, and whenever you want, take your time, you are good to go.
The only social responsibility of a business is to increase profits for its shareholders. These are the famous words by economist Milton Friedman. And for half a century, this was dogma. Profit at all costs. Cost to people and the planet. But does it have to be like that? You started a business to make a difference, to change your life and to change the world. So to stand out, your business needs a USP, which you'll know stands for unique selling point. But if you want your business to be a positive force, I believe you need a new USP. And that's what I'm calling the ultimate social purpose. It's a codified social contract drawn from your authentic story and values. A mission statement that's truly practiced, not just written on a wall. A business that exists to serve people and the planet beyond profit. So, what's your ultimate social purpose?
Time. Perfect.
Fantastic. Perfectly on time. Round of applause for Will as well. Will, I'm not here today to share my input and feedback, but I really liked your hook, the way you captured the audience's attention at the very beginning, and then I'm not going to say anything else. So really well done. And let's go with speaker number 3, Jane. Maria, this is for you. How to make delicious ice cream while championing diversity and inclusion. As always, Jane, take your time, feel free to unmute yourself, and then whenever you want, we can get started. You there, Jane? I'm trying to find you.
I see her and I am unmuting. Here we go. Asked to unmute.
Yeah, Jane, I think you should have received I don't know what's going on. Do you have any technical issues with the audio? Okay, so what we'll do is sometimes technology gets in the way. That's fine. So what we'll do, we'll go with Grace first. And in the meantime, it would be great if you could try and understand what's going on. And then I'll get back to you at the end. Okay. So for now, we've got Grace, how to offer dog care while providing opportunities for people that are unemployed. I hope your microphone works, Grace. And
I think they've done something.
No. I think I can hear you.
Can you?
Yeah.
I can't unmute.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. It's coming up as, okay, cool. Hi, I'm Grace, and I'm the co-owner of Pause and Pause. Paws and Paws is a social enterprise doggy daycare that supports people in long-term unemployment due to mental ill health and substance use addiction and back to work. We believe in a world where the unconditional love of dogs can help people learn key life skills and take their next steps to employment or education. When you book your dog in for a day with us, not only are you giving them hours of fun to run free with their friends, but you're also helping to provide employment and training opportunities for people in recovery. Essentially, you're using your good dog to do good deeds. Your pup's a philanthropist and you didn't even realize. So you can be rest assured that we're taking care of your dog, but we're also taking care of your community. We're London's only social enterprise doggy daycare, and we're making the world a better place for dogs and humans, one paw at a time.
Perfect. Grace, thank you very much. Also perfectly on time. Round of applause for Grace as well. And Rose and Joe, could you please remind me, in case I forget, to go back to Jane at the end, because I do want to make sure that she's got an opportunity as well. Perfect. Thank you, Rose. So now we've got Rebecca. Rebecca, how to empower people to engage with politics through education.
Thank you. Can I just check you can hear me before?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay. The pandemic highlighted that political decisions impact every single aspect of our lives. And I have a Voices working towards a world where people from all walks of life engage with those decisions, so they're made with an understanding of how they'll affect all segments of the population. We do this by taking professional political expertise to the classroom to equip young people with the tools and the confidence to engage with the issues that matter to them and their communities. We know our approach works because lots of the young people we work with want to keep speaking up after the programme we run finishes. So we set up an extracurricular scheme to support these now hyper-engaged young people from underrepresented groups in the world of politics, to get their voices heard, and even better, to get them into employment opportunities in the political sector so that they can have professional influence as well. Through our targeted outreach and links with professionals and organisations, we're contributing towards a future where our leaders are representative and there is space for all voices to be heard.
All right, perfect. Rose is also saying perfectly on time. Again, Rebecca, really well done. Thank you for this. Round of applause again for Rebecca. And now we have Guillaume. I think I saw him before. Guillaume Charlot, how to save startups through regulation. So I did see him before. Let's see. Yes, there he is. All right, let's check whether we can hear you. Could you please just say something, like whatever you want?
Is it working?
Yeah, it is. Perfect. Fantastic. Whenever you want, Guillaume, feel free to go.
So AI already runs the world. Everybody is doing startups, but it's already there. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, they control our information. What do they want to show us? They want to show us what maximizes their business model. More watch time is more ads, is more money. So if we want to compete and make better startups, better AI, we need to beat these guys at their own game. But it's impossible because they are based on addiction, and it's impossible to make a highly valued startup based on addiction. So the only way to compete against these startups is regulation. We need regulation to first break up monopolies, like we did with the Bell system, and we need regulation to help users to understand what this addiction works, how it works, and what it gives us.
All right, perfect as well, Guillaume. Round of applause for Guillaume. Thank you very much. And now I'm going very fast now, I know, but then I will give everybody, the audience, an opportunity to also share your ideas in the chat. And by the way, as we continue, if anything resonates with you, because I want to make this event as useful as possible for the speakers, for the judges, for everybody. If any ideas resonate with you, or maybe if you hear something and you've got, maybe you know somebody who might be, or another organization who might be a great connection to have for one of the speakers, or simply if you want to share your input, your ideas, on anything that you hear today, please do use the chat. Feel free to share your ideas in the chat and let's make it interactive. And a reminder for the judges, please keep taking note of the great things you've noticed from a communication perspective, and also maybe, why not, something that could be improved as well, in your view. Okay, so now we've got Miriam, how to use data-driven technology to improve the lives of vulnerable children. Now, I wouldn't say a very good understanding, but I can relate to this topic, Miriam, because my wife works with vulnerable children. So huge respect.
Potential customer.
So huge respect for what you're doing, and I can hear you as well. So perfect. Whenever you want, you are good to go.
Thank you. Did you know that it costs local authorities more to place a child in a residential children's home than it would cost to send them to Eton? Yet despite this investment, care leavers are more likely to end up in prison than go to university. Part of this discrepancy is because of unmet mental health need. 75% of children in the care system have mental health or developmental needs, yet mental health is not routinely screened, and only 1 in 8 of those with needs get professional support. MyBerry digital tools identify mental health needs and produce individualised reports to advise caregivers. Proven to improve outcomes for children, they also help children who are in residential care re-access families in foster care or with extended family members, saving millions of pounds for the public purse while improving lives. We've helped 1,800 children in care so far, but more than 2 million children across the UK have mental health need. So we know there's much more we can do.
Perfect. Thank you, Miriam. Round of applause for Miriam as well. Fantastic. I'm very happy to see that. Now, apart from, of course, anybody has his or her own style of presenting, which is totally fine, but very glad to see that there was preparation, because if you don't prepare, then it would be impossible to communicate your idea in just 1 minute. So well done to all the speakers. And now we've got Bastien from France as well, like Guillaume, how to improve farmers' resilience and food traceability. So Bastien, whenever you want, as always, you can unmute yourself and then we go.
Do you hear me correctly?
Yes.
Cool. Hi, I'm Bastien. I'm the co-founder of Ned une seule ferme. At Ned une seule ferme, we think that if we want to make the agricultural sector to evolve into greener practices, to better practices, we need to bring back value to the farmers. If a farmer can have a decent salary, he won't be able to make better practices on his farm. So our solution is to take the value where it is created as a transformation step and put it back on farms. We developed small factories that we install on farms, and we provide an industry as a service solution to farmers to go to transformation and produce food on their farms. Today, we work with 7 dairy farmers, and we install factories to produce yogurts directly on their farm. Thus, we can improve their resiliency and give 100% traceable and transparent products to the consumers. As one of our farmers says, Ned une seule ferme, it's a small portion of our production, but it makes us proud. Thank you.
Perfect. Round of applause for Bastien. Really well done. And sometimes I feel so sorry because we ask our audience, sometimes even our clients, to do something that we don't do ourselves, like pitching for 1 minute. I know it's super hard. So really well done. Okay, so we've got Paul Spires, and then we'll try and go back to Jane. Paul, with a very intriguing title, Why Pitching Purpose is Like Selling Socks. So Paul, whenever you want, we can check the audio first, and then you can go.
You can hear me? Okay.
Yes. Yep. Perfect.
Why pitching purpose is like selling socks is the essence of my chat today. And in 1 minute or less, I have to convince you with whatever I have to say. So I'd just like to say in my 50 seconds less, how can socks and purpose be the same? Well, when you're deep in a crisis or your feet blistered in a marathon, it's only then you look for someone to blame. But until then, a purpose or socks, they do their job with quiet ease. They don't ask for the glamour of a flash running jacket or a leader who wears their ego on their sleeve. They build the foundations, they underpin your support, and they help all the other parts to shine. Whether trainers or strategy or fitness or sales, they are humble and sanguine and refined. And this is the problem, though credit is given for all the efforts you just can't see until you're stuck in that crisis or last in that race, and then you lean on them to be more successful, focused, in tune with your desires, your needs, and your plans. So start investing in good socks, embracing that purpose. Your success is in their hands.
Wow, Paul, round of applause. That was like poetry. It was like a poem. Fantastic, really impressive, really well done. Thank you, Paul. Okay, right. So before we have a bit of a chat with the judges, let's see if we can go back to Jane. So I'm also...
You can hear me this time around.
Yes, we can. Fantastic. Oh, I'm very
fantastic.
happy. Very happy to see that. Okay.
Me too.
All right. So we've got Jane Visram, how to make delicious ice cream while championing diversity and inclusion. So Jane, the audience is all yours.
Thank you. We are Mama Dolce, a delicious range of luxury free from ice cream, inspired by wholesome, high-quality ingredients. We have created 6 free-from flavors which do not compromise on taste. All our flavors are free from the main allergens prevalent in ice cream, being dairy, nuts, eggs, soya, wheat, and gluten. We are inclusive by design. Mama Dolce makes the joy of flavor through dessert available to everyone. And with every pot of ice cream we churn, we continue to amplify the voices of the underrepresented demographics in the food and beverage industry. We are free from allergens and not from flavor. Our delicious, rich flavor comes from ingredients sourced from around the world, from coconuts from Sri Lanka to Papua New Guinea vanilla pods, because food is the universal language that everyone speaks, and sometimes tasting is believing. No one does it better than Mama. We are free from with love. Thank you.
Tasting is like believing. I love that. Love that quote. Fantastic. Jane, I'm very happy that we sorted out with the technology, and great, fantastic. Now, before I ask everybody to select their finalist, I would like to hear from the judges. And of course, also, this is my note to the judges. There is no right or wrong input or piece of advice or feedback. Whatever you noticed, it would be great if we can spend just a few minutes for you, maybe just each of you, to tell us either one thing that you really liked about maybe one of the speakers, or it could be one thing that you think could be improved from a communication perspective. And I would say ladies first. So either Sapna or Maria, who would like to go first? And please do unmute yourself, the judges, now, so that you...
Jane, I can't, sorry, I can't see Maria. Maria, do you want to go first? I don't mind.
I was waiting for you to go first.
Oh, are you? Okay. You're going to do the killer one at the end. So do we just do every single speaker?
No, just one. If I'm sure that you've captured some comments, but I would like you to select just one thing, just a quick thought, anything that you've noticed on just one of the speakers, not all of them. Otherwise, we won't have time. Yeah.
Okay, fine. I mean, Paul Spears at the end, really, I loved the poem. It was it made him very memorable, and it made the message very memorable. I did leave the end of it though, thinking, well, what does he do? So I'd kind of like to know a bit more about Paul in the beginning, maybe.
Okay, perfect.
What the purpose was.
Thank you, Sapna. And Maria, do you have any thoughts to share with anybody?
I'm going to limit me to one person. So if I'm going to choose one, I'm going to choose Will. I loved his hook, and he had me at the beginning, and a couple of others also did a great hook, but that one really got to me, and it was a really strong message. So I think Will did a great job.
Perfect. Thank you, Maria. And by the way, I need to say, I said that it's very tough for the speakers today, but I know it's also very tough for the judges because you just need to select one thought. So sorry for that as well. And all right, so maybe Robin or Todd, would you have anything to share? Robin, yeah.
Oh yeah, so I mean, they're absolutely brilliant pitches, all of them, but it's hard to actually kind of pick somebody. I mean, Will really stood out to me. One of the things I was looking for was specificity. So whether it be on the outcome, the result, or the impact that each of the speakers was delivering. And I think when Will said talking about ultimate social purpose, I was like, bang, that's like such a neat hook that you can really kind of get your teeth into. And those 3 words actually said an awful lot. And yeah, I love Paul's delivery. I thought that was very clever. And there was a couple who just tried to squeeze too much, I think, into their 60 seconds. And actually, again, with Will, it was like less was more. I think he probably used fewer words than all of the other speakers there. And I think that's what really made it stand out for me.
Yeah, Robin, thanks for mentioning this. We also see that with our clients so often we are so close to our subject that we think that everything is important, right? And so we need to communicate everything. But this is for everybody. Let's always put ourselves in the audience's shoes. If everything is important, for them, for the audience, nothing is important. So the ability to simplify your message is really important. Thank you, Robin. Todd, anything to add from your side?
Sure. I mean, again, a lot of pros and cons, a lot of lessons learned. But to me, one of my key things is whether you're doing a speech that's 1 minute, 1 hour, or 1 day, openings and closings are so important. The speeches that pulled us right in with a hook, a question, a quote, those are the ones that got me most engaged, as opposed to the ones that are more robotic, which are like, hi, my name is, I am the ABC of XYZ, and now I'm going to tell you what I do, right? So pull people right into the action with your opening, and the ones that closed on a powerful note with either a question or a call to action, those were the ones that were most powerful to me. And one other comment is, with 1 minute, you should be able to talk to us rather than reading off a script. So it's so important to not be robotic. And I love Jane's naturalness, the smile, the energy, the authenticity. That's one of the ones that really stuck out for me.
Thank you, Tom. And it's so true, going back to your first point. In the end, what people will remember the most is what you say at the very beginning and at the very end of your presentation. And what Todd said is so true. This is not just if you give a 1 minute pitch, even in a 20-minute or in a 30-minute presentation, introduction, the hook, and the conclusion, the call to action, are the 2 most important parts of your presentations. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So let's do this. And it's going to be anonymous. I'm going to launch a poll. And with this kind of online events, I always need to pray that everything works. So let me see here. I need to find the poll. Yes. So you're going to see a poll with a list of all the speakers, and you can just select one your favorite. Okay. And then from there, we are going to see the 3 speakers who got the highest amount of votes, and then they will be the 3 finalists. Okay, so I'm going to launch it. Could you please maybe thumbs up if you can see the poll on screen? Can you give me your thumbs up? Okay, I see most of them. So everybody can vote. Take your time. I'll give you a few seconds to do that.
I think you're very mean to only give us 1 vote.
I am. Sorry, Maria. Okay, I do want to give you a few more seconds. We've got 45 votes so far. So 75% of participants have voted. So I'm going to give you a few more seconds. We are 80%. Do go ahead. Okay, just a few more people. I know that sometimes it is hard, so I do want you to think about it and then express your preference. Okay, so I'm going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and poll. So it's my job now to announce the 3 finalists. I have them in front of me. So The three finalists are, one is Paul, why pitching purpose is like selling socks. And then we have Jane, how to make delicious ice cream while championing diversity and inclusion. And the third one, not like in order, like the other one is Will, why every enterprise needs an ultimate social purpose. So congratulations to the three finalists and all the others anyway, because as I said, this was very, very tough. Plus it's online and there has its own difficulties, also from a setup and tech perspective. Okay, right. So now what we do is we've got the three finalists and each of them will have now 3 minutes, which is still tough, but a bit more. And then we do finalist one, and then we'll have a bit of a feedback and input from the judges. And then we do the same thing for the second finalist and the third finalist. And then we will announce the winners. And Rose and Joe, please remember that then I will ask the judges to vote this time to give their vote, and then I would like you to do the math if that's possible. All right, so shall we start with Paul Spires? Again, why pitching purpose is like socks in 3 minutes. Whenever you want, Paul.
Thank you. Okay, so the little poem I delivered earlier, although it's slightly tongue-in-cheek, it does reflect some of the experiences I've had pitching purpose over the last couple of years with the new P&L Brand Purpose Institute. And we all know that purpose is fundamental to a business's sustainable success, yet it's so often overlooked and taken for granted or neglected, just like the humble sock. So purpose and socks share a common challenge. The fact is that people don't always appreciate, understand or value what they do when they can't see it in action. And if they can't appreciate it or value it, then the job of convincing them to invest in powerful purpose or great socks becomes so much harder. However, as we slowly emerge from the pandemic with so many stakeholders in a business demanding more authenticity, transparency, and courage, leaders can no longer deny purpose at its rightful place in the heart of business. But part of the problem is actually with purpose itself, because purpose's greatest asset is also its biggest problem. Purpose, when delivered effectively, is so often so deeply rooted in the foundations of business and its culture, you sometimes don't witness the extent of the inherent value it offers until you're in the middle of a crisis, like that we've faced in the last 18 months. And because in a crisis, a good leader who is guiding a good business with a strong sense of purpose turns back to anchor their business in the middle of a storm, and their purpose offers them a point of stability from which to refocus and realign the navigation to move forwards again with a common sense of understanding and confidence. But conversely, exactly because of purpose's deep-rooted nature, many of the leaders make the catastrophic assumption that purpose continues to sit somewhere at the heart of their business when it doesn't, and that somehow it continues to thrive when there's been no active investment in its maintenance from those same leaders. So they turn back to steady their business in the eye of a crisis or a storm, and they find there is nothing there to anchor it. They're rudderless, directionless, and they only see the value of purpose when they don't have it. So if you're a seller of socks or a pitcher of purpose, the hardest job we have is convincing someone of the value of something they either can't see or won't see in their minds until they need it in a crisis. So what do? In my view, we stop pitching purpose and we start selling what it delivers to the bottom line of the business. Too many purveyors of purpose expect a business leader to meet them where they are philosophically, not where the leaders are, and that is a fundamental mistake. For it to be successfully seeded into a culture, purpose must first be understood and embraced by the leaders who lead it. It's real value to that business, not any value, that needs to be clearly and consistently expressed using the right language and with the evidence that will resonate directly with those who need to buy into it. If we want leaders to buy and build their businesses with purpose, on purpose, we need to be much more purposeful about the way we engage with them. We need to stop pitching our purpose and instead learn to understand theirs. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Round of applause for Paul again. And now I would like, let's do a very similar thing, but in terms of input from the judges, but just for Paul now. So is there, again, anything that you've noticed that you really liked about his message or his delivery? Or instead, is there anything that you think might be improved? Who would like to go first this time? Otherwise, I need to select.
happy to.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Robin.
Paul, you have such a wonderful like tonality to like the way that you speak and the tone of your voice. I think you should, if ever whatever you're doing kind of doesn't work out, I would just start recording hypnosis tracks and putting them onto YouTube, because I think your delivery is like really, really great. Your message is like incredibly powerful as well. But again, like I said in my feedback earlier, I think I'd like to see something more specific in terms of the outcome which you deliver. So which leaders do you work with? What sort of businesses? You know, what is the impact actually going to look like? You know, you could have maybe dropped in a case study or something like that. So we've actually got a story that we can again like get hooked into and get sold into. But in terms of the delivery, you know, I could listen to you all day. So it was really great.
Thank you, Robin. And you mentioned case studies. Let me just add something here. Sometimes when we talk about storytelling in business, people think that, what can I do? I don't have a once upon a time type of story. It doesn't have to be a once upon a time type of story. It could be an example, a case study, an anecdote, an analogy. Again, going back to what Sapna, I think, said at the very beginning, it's memorable. She used this term. That's what people will remember. Okay, and talking about Sapna, maybe by any chance, do you have any any input, any feedback for Paul?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with Robin that you've got a lovely voice, Paul. So if you're doing a podcast, let us know and we can tune into that. But and I've discovered that you're called the Purpose Institute now, so that's kind of quite good. I love the fact that you were talking about purpose being so core to the business and really quite a deep thing. That's something that I talk about with my clients as well, and that we need to stop pitching about purpose and actually really kind of get to the hub of what their purpose is. I again would like to know who you worked with and what the outcomes were, and I thought that there was one of the speakers from before that actually just finished with like a quote from their client, and that for me just left it on a real high. So just something like that, and then also maybe a call to action. What can we do at the end of that as well? So those are my two sort of things that could be improved on, but I really enjoyed your talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Sapna. And Paul has a podcast, yes. And going back to what you said, Sapna, call to action, absolutely, because we always say at Ideas on Stage, if after your pitch, your presentation, your audience doesn't believe, feel, or even better, do something new or different, then perhaps we've wasted our time. And I'm not talking about you, Paul, yeah, but just in general, let's always think about what do we want our audience to do after our presentation. Perfect. And maybe now, Todd, would you have anything to share?
Sure. Great. I was an English literature major, so I loved his use of alliteration. I loved his use of metaphor and analogy and imagery. Navigating a storm and a crisis, rudderless in direction. But as my previous judging colleagues just said, my thought was like, what's the so what, so that? What do you want people to think, feel, know, and do? Like, I didn't know what you're selling, what the call to action was. So in terms of style and delivery, I thought it was excellent, but I didn't have the clarity in terms of what do I do with this now? So I would have liked at least one concrete example, even in 30 seconds, of what are you offering? Like that's the main thing. So, and I do management leadership development. So I was very interested in the concept of topic of purpose, but what do I do with it? I think that's the main thing. But your delivery and style was captivating.
Thank you, Todd. So what? So what is a very powerful question that we, as speakers, as presenters, we should always keep in mind. Perfect. Maria, have you got anything for Paul?
Okay, I'm Bruno Tognoli now. I'm going to be bad cop here. So yes, it was good. However, for me, it was a bit fast and it was a bit the same pace. I needed some pauses to catch up. I couldn't keep up with you. And so you lost me because it was very hard to follow. And it's great content. So if you could give me some pauses, give me some light and shade, that would be wonderful.
Thank you, Maria. And this is so important. We need to have, again, as speakers, we need to have the courage to slow down. Because when we slow down, we give the audience time to think about what we've just told them. We give ourselves time to think about what to say next. And every time we pause or we slow down, that increases the impact of a message. So great point, Maria. Okay, perfect. Again, congratulations, Paul. And now we've got, let's do Jane. Otherwise, she's always the last, and that's not good. So let's do Jane again about ice creams. Whenever you want, Jane, you've got 3 minutes now, and let's make sure that the audio works. If you say something, you are again on. Oh, if you say something now, it should work. Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Fantastic. Sorry, I'm possibly battling with possibly the worst internet connection I've had all month. But so apologies. I've just managed to join back in. Is it my time to speak?
Yes, it is. 3 minutes, Jane.
Oh, fantastic. Great. Right on time then. Fantastic. Okay. Let me just put this up there. Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. So, how do you make delicious ice cream while championing diversity and inclusion, you ask? By churning luxury free from ice cream in its purest form, so that everyone can partake in the joy of sharing dessert. Ice cream is by no means a new product. However, Mama Dolce is one of the few luxuries that is clean deck and has been independently tested for allergens. So we provide our customers with peace of mind from those may contain statements on the back of packages. I was tired of feeling left out when it came to the dessert menu, so I created something that everyone could enjoy together. And our social mission is as inclusive as our product. When we first had visions of churning ice cream, we were not only thinking of the positive difference that we could make to 44% of British adults now suffering from at least one allergy, or the 150 million plus Europeans suffering from chronic allergic diseases. We were also determined to better serve the local community that we churn ice creams in by being positive agents of change. So our impact is global, but our social change starts local. Over the last year, 8 out of 10 of the interns that we have been privileged to have in our cohorts have been able to gain the experience they've needed to secure full-time positions. This has ranged from individuals who have been furloughed to those who have had career changes. We are so proud to be able to be positive difference makers and create change in the lives of young adults. We are also part of the Kickstart campaign. So why me, may you ask? Throughout my years of studying and working, I've always used my platform to create and to continue to amplify the voices of those from marginalized demographics. And I have no intention of stopping now. Now, more than ever, it is important to see all ethnicities and social backgrounds represented in each industry in society, so that they can thrive and settle for nothing less than excellence. During our crowdfunding campaign at the beginning of this year, we launched our Rising Star series, where we celebrate diversity and amplify the voices of communities that are not well represented within the food and drinks industry. By doing this in conjunction with our other social initiatives, we will begin to create a more inclusive future. Food is more than taste. It's a fusion of flavors that can take you on a culinary journey, and sharing those moments with loved ones is priceless. For all these reasons, we believe that Mama Dolce is a luxury free from ice cream brand going mainstream. So whether you're exclusively free from, whether you're looking for a socially conscious luxury ice cream business, whether you're vegan, vegetarian, flexitarian, or other, Mama Dolce can cater to your needs. Thank you.
Oh, time. Perfect.
Was it perfect timing? Okay, fantastic.
God, I was like, oh, okay.
Perfect timing. Round of applause for Jane. Thank you very much. And judges, I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. I forgot something before. So let's do it. We are going to sort this out very quickly. But before we have your feedback on Jane's delivery, we need to have, if you, with your mind, if you go back to Paul, we need to have your vote. So yes, so if you, again, just think about Paul's 3-minute pitch and think about your vote. And then when you're ready, if you can share it on the webcam, and then Rose and Joe are going to do the math. Okay. Okay, so we've got Maria and Robin and Todd and Sapna. So Rose, you've got the numbers? Yeah, fantastic. Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, so now what about Jane? Would anybody like to go first? Again, let's try to maybe just, in the interest of time, to just share one thing that really caught your attention, either positive or, I don't want to say negative, but let's say opportunity for improvement. Maria, yeah?
Yeah, I'll go first. So Jane, for me, your 1 minute pitch was outstanding. And I expected the same standard in your 3 minutes pitch. And it fell short, I'm afraid. And why it fell short is that I felt in the 1 minute pitch, it spoke to me as your customer. And here instead, it was all about you and what you have achieved. And I wanted it to be more about me and why I should be buying yours, apart from the allergies and etc., but how it needs to be more for me. Do you know what I mean? That's where I think it could improve, because your 1 minute pitch was stupendous.
Thank you.
I love that, Maria, and it's so true. The secret to great presenting is to talk about the audience even when you're talking about yourself.
Yeah.
Now, how do you do that? It's a longer journey, but it is definitely possible to talk about the audience even when you're talking about yourself. And sometimes it's a matter of changing the language and the words we use. Okay, thank you very much, Maria. I think Sapna also, yes, okay, perfect.
I disagree a little bit with Jane, with Maria, sorry. I thought your 1 minute pitch was really strong and it got me very excited. I really liked the phrase when you use inclusive by design, and that didn't really show up in this one. But I felt really excited about your brand because diversity and inclusion is something that I'm really kind of passionate about as well. And so the more you talked about what you were doing, the more excited I got about wanting to buy into this brand. The thing that you're doing, the Rising Star Awards and the Kickstart and the social level, which I actually thought was missing from your 1 minute pitch. And I was like, but I want to know how else you're doing your diversity and inclusion. What else are you doing? Is it just free from flavors? I kind of want to know what some of those flavors are as well, and I want to know where to buy them from. I don't know where to get them from. So actually, another call to action was, where do I find these amazing ice creams? So, but I'm very excited so just let us know where you can get them from, and I'll check them out. Thank you.
And by the way, Jane, feel free to include a link, Jane, in the chat.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I wasn't sure if the shameless plug in the pitch was allowed, but that's definitely noted for next time.
It's a pitch, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Either maybe Todd, I see you are unmuted. Would you like to share something?
Sure, happy to. We save our scores to the end.
Yes, let's do the feedback, and then we do the scores. Yeah.
Great. As mentioned before, I really love Jane's energy, positivity. It's values driven, it's mission driven. I like the personal storytelling because I feel like, you said, why me? Like, that's my question, why you? Like, what's so special? And you brought that. You also had a few statistics, like 44%, allergy and a few other things. So I thought it was really nicely done. And I thought it was a good energy, good pace, good opening, good close.
Perfect. Very positive feedback from Todd. And what about Robin?
Yeah, I loved it. There was so much which I got from that 3 minutes that maybe I missed something from the first 60-second pitch. Just in terms of like the level of impact you're making in your business, from the ingredients you use to the people you're selling the ice cream to the how you treat your staff and what the work you're doing there. All of that came out in bucket loads and during your 3 minutes just now, and it's brilliant. And that immediately kind of really hooked me in. If I was to be really finicky and find something to kind of give you a bit of feedback on, in terms of the delivery of me, I did get a little bit lost because you were kind of a bit one pace throughout the whole of the talk, and there wasn't just enough I don't know, it wasn't really flamboyant, and I think you could have just jazzed that up a little bit, just to kind of keep me interested. So but no, in terms of like the content, absolutely bang on, because it speaks volumes about the great work you're doing in your business. Loved it.
Robin, your last point is so important from a delivery perspective. We want to be, our aim as presenters has to be to be and to become a dynamic. We need to be dynamic speakers, and we can be dynamic with a voice. We can be dynamic with a body language. There are ways to achieve that, but it's so important because that's connected to the effectiveness of the message itself. Okay, perfect. So thank you to the judges and Jane. Shall we do the scores? I'll give you a few seconds. Sapna, Robin, Maria, and Todd, and Rose is ready to do the math.
And Joe, I've got backup here.
And Joe, yes, and Joe. Okay, Robin everybody's ready. All right. So Joe and Rose, let me know if you got them. Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. And now let's do the last one and then we'll wrap it up. So we've got Will. Will, why every enterprise needs an ultimate social purpose. So again, Will, feel free to unmute yourself. We've got 3 minutes whenever you want.
Thank you. So why do we need an ultimate social purpose? Isn't having a purpose enough? Well, the word purpose is pretty hot these days. And we know by comparing brands like Apple and Dell that businesses with a purpose make a bigger impact. One challenges the status quo, creates innovative products, sells an aspirational lifestyle. The other just sells computers. Simon Sinek tells us to start with why. Because people don't just buy into what you do, they buy into why you do it. And as much as I love Simon, I don't think he goes far enough. I believe this because businesses with a purpose alone are not necessarily virtuous. They're not necessarily socially driven. They're not necessarily sustainable, and they're not necessarily ethical. And if a business is amoral, it can easily become immoral, right? Remember Milton Friedman? The only social responsibility of a business is to maximize profits. So even a business that starts with why can fall victim to the old business as usual mindset if they lack a social purpose. We see this again and again, short-term thinking, corporate greed, avoiding tax responsibilities, endless extraction and exploitation in the pursuit of that profit to satisfy shareholder value and achieve perpetual growth. And all that puts us on a fast track to climate breakdown and human misery. So how do we discover and develop our own ultimate social purpose? Well, we need just 3 ingredients to begin. Number 1, it must be drawn from the authentic values and story of the founding team. What's the genuine belief system that we can all build upon? Number 2, what's the burning injustice in your world? What cause do you really care about? And number 3, what's the vision of the world you want to create? What are the positive social or environmental outcomes that your work can unlock? And only then can you invite people onto your own journey. In my own career in the creative design industry, along with my background of climate and animal rights activism, it's led me to discover and nurture my own ultimate social purpose. And I'm inspired by ethical entrepreneurs and accidental business people. These are the polite rebels who have realized that there's more to business than simply turning a profit. I work with those who are harnessing the machinery of a business and the entrepreneurial mindset to create something that's solving a real world problem. I believe in a better world by design. And I want to help you discover and nurture your own ultimate social purpose and design something that helps you to stand out, cut through the noise, and change the world. Thank you.
Perfect.
Round of applause for Will. So powerful. Really well done. Really well done, Will. Okay, fantastic. All right, so let's do the same. The last round of feedback from our judges. Would anybody like to go first, or do I need to pick you? Maria, yes, feel free to, yeah, you need to unmute yourself. Perfect.
Yes, I'll go first. So, Will, thank you. For me, that was easy to follow. It was well structured. It was a nice pace. What I would have liked, and I would have liked to have seen it from all three, actually, finalists, I'd have liked you to stand, because I think you would have had a different energy. I think you would have breathed. You were struggling to breathe because you're sitting down. And I also think you were reading. So if you were you reading? Reading. Yeah. So I would have liked you not to read. I'd have liked you to stand. I'd like you all three of you to stand, because I think, you know, you're presenting, you're pitching. You wouldn't pitch sitting down. Anybody wouldn't pitch it. And I don't know if anybody stood at all, actually, throughout any of the sessions, even the previous one. But other than that, it was easy to follow, easy to understand. The message got across. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Maria. And second judge, who would like to go next? I'm trying to see the faces. I see that Todd seems to be ready to share something.
Yeah, I'm good to go. So yeah, the reading off the screen didn't work for me. I think I want to be talked to. I felt like I was being read off a script. The pacing was really, really slow for me. Again, I'm from New York, so I know I'm biased. I may have a different, I don't like pauses. I like high speed. So I was like, come on. I want to hit the fast forward button. The message was good, but the energy, the robotic delivery didn't work for me. I like that you said there's 3 ingredients, 1, 2, and 3. I like that because it was well structured. But also there was no how. You told us what, you know, you had to start with why and the purpose initiative, but there was no how. Like there was nothing concrete for me to latch onto. So that was my those were my main thoughts.
Thank you, Todd. And yes, you did mention and I also noticed there are 3 key ingredients, and 3 is a magic number. 3 is the most powerful number in communication. That's what people can remember. Okay, right. Thank you, Todd. And either Sapna or Robin, any thought? Maybe I see Robin. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel a bit like Maria did, I think, with Jane. I was kind of really blown away by your first 60 seconds, and then this kind of just fell a little bit flat for me. But actually, you had something very different in it, which was like Todd picked up on the 3 steps that made it really easy to understand. There were some really emotive things which you were saying as well about the impact, which kind of really got me kind of thinking as well, which was excellent. I was just desperate to get a case study out of you about the fact that, because I think sometimes, and I think everybody missed this actually on today, we mistake things like purpose and you know, having environmental issues within our business being dealt with and things like that as being expensive. And actually, I think none of you came to town and said, we saved the business $100,000, or we created this big impact. And Will, I was really hoping you'd do that, because it would have probably been a 10 out of 10 for me, I think, if you dropped that. Then the others mentioned about you reading as well. Actually, I could tell you were doing it for the first couple of minutes, but then you found your stride. And the last 60 seconds for me, I've really felt a different energy in you. And I think you need to capture that and bring that into future pitches. But it was great.
Thank you, Robin. And you see, that's why I've chosen our judges today. All of them, you see, they have a lot of experience, not just from a communication perspective, but from a business perspective as well, which in the end, that's what we're doing. It is purpose-driven, but it is purpose-driven business. Okay, right. And Sapna, any thoughts from your side?
Unmuting. It's always hard to go last, actually. It's hard to go first and it's hard to go last because you feel like you're repeating what everybody else has said and it's all on my notes. Yeah, again, I found that your 1 minute pitch had more power and blew me away. And then the length of the 3 minute pitch, it lost that. It felt diluted rather than built on all the time. But I loved your 3 points, the values and the thing about your burning injustice. It just got me really thinking about what my burning injustice is. I work in brand as well, and say that I work with purpose-driven entrepreneurs. That for me didn't come across well. I didn't actually know what you did until you said, I believe in a better world by design, right at the end. I wasn't actually quite clear what you did. And then I thought, oh, is he something to do with design? And then I checked your LinkedIn and I kind of, so I think you could probably start with that as well. Yeah, and for me, that would make it stronger. And the case studies bit, again, it was like, who have you worked with, what have you done, what's been the impact of what you've done. And again, a call to action. I know I noticed you put one in the chat now, but you know, a call to action at the end of what you're doing. What do you want us to do next? That would be make it a bit more powerful as well. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to all our judges. You've been incredible. It's so hard, not just to pitch in 1 or 3 minutes, but to share meaningful and useful feedback in just a few seconds. So thank you so much. Okay, right. Shall we do the scores for Will?
Bit of controversy for you, Andrea. I'd like to change one of my scores.
Okay, yes. Was it Jane or Paul?
For Jane.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So Rose and Joe, what was the first? Do you know, Rose? You know? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, no. Good. No. Good question. What was your original number, Robin?
9 before.
Right. So plus one.
Great.
Oh, okay. Perfect. And now, yeah, let's do the scores for Will. Okay. Maria, Todd, Sapna is 8. Yeah. Oh, that's very precise, Robin. Now I see why you wanted to change. Okay. Do we have it, Joe and Rose? Yeah. Right. So in that case, I'm like, the audience is yours, either Rose or Joe. If you would like to announce, I haven't done the math myself. I don't know whether anybody in the audience has. So Rose, have you got the winner before announcing it now? Do you have it? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Right. So let's do. I don't know whether in Italy, but maybe this is just an international thing. We do something like when we wait, oh, like everybody, yeah. Oh, I want to see everybody, like everybody. Yes, exactly. Oh, ready for Rose? 3, 2, 1. The winner is
Jane.
Wow! Congratulations!
And it is so important to say this was extremely close call. So we're talking, 0.5 and 2 points. So really everyone kicked it out of the ballpark, and I've learned a lot. So this has been fantastic. And thank you, Joe. We've been going back and forth, making sure that we're on par here with the points. So excellent work, everyone.
All right, fantastic. So congratulations to Jane, of course, and to all the speakers. So let me wrap it up. We have some prizes, of course, for the winner, but not just for the winner. So we've got something for everybody. Let me share my screen. Here is what we've got. So just a second. So you should be, Rose, can you see my slides? Yeah? Thumbs up? Yeah, perfect. All right. So this is for everybody. So everybody will receive, check it out, because sometimes technology gets in the way, but you will receive the virtual goodie bag, which is a collection of lots of useful resources. Our judges today and our partners as well have been so kind to offer a lot of value add in addition to what we are doing at the event. So check it out. You've got lots of free resources or discounts from our partners, from our judges, and that's the virtual goodie bag for everybody. Also, for the speakers, all the speakers and the judges, I will send you by post a physical copy of Business Presentation Revolution, which is a book that you see here, the orange one that was written by my colleague, Phil Wakenell. And if you have it already, then I'll send it to you anyway. You'll have one more copy. You can do whatever you want with it. You can share it with your friends. Now, of course, I'm biased, but I do believe that this is a fantastic book if you're interested in presentation skills. So this is for all the speakers and the judges. Also, and I do want to make sure, because sometimes maybe Rose, can you still hear me well? Because sometimes yes, okay, perfect. Now, for the 3 finalists, in addition to the book, I will also give you free access to my online course, Create and Design Memorable Presentations, which is not free, but I will give you free access to it. There are lots of videos and practical tools and templates that you can keep for future reference for all your future presentations. So I'll send you a link afterwards. This is for the 3 finalists. And for Jane, for the winner, in addition to that, I would be very, very happy to offer a free one-to-one coaching session. And you can decide what to do with it. So, for example, if you have an important pitch or presentation coming up, we can look at that together. Or if you have any questions around your general presentation skills, we can discuss that. But I'll get in touch, we'll take you offline. And again, we'll be very happy to offer a one-to-one coaching session. And Cam is saying, yeah, Cam, great to see you here, is invaluable. Lucky, thank you very much, Cam. All right. So these are the prices. Just a couple of other things before we close. And Rose or Joe are going to include the links in the chat. If you've never seen these resources, then check them out. On the left, you've got the Impactful Presenter Scorecard. So again, if you're interested in these ideas, then this is an online tool that we have to very quickly assess your presentation skills. You just need to answer a few questions, yes and no, and you'll get a score and what that score means to you. And it also identifies opportunities for improvement. So check it out, it takes less than 5 minutes. And the other thing is the web class. So we have a weekly web class. The next web class is on Tuesday next week at 5 p.m. How to create a brilliant presentation, even if you have no experience. Now, if you do have some experience, even better. And it's a free session, less than an hour, and it's full of tips and techniques from a presentation skills perspective. So the links should be in the chat, I believe, and you will find them there. And just one thing, now this is only for those who are motivated to take their presentation skills to a higher level, and we're also either for themselves, by the way, or for their teams, and we're also ready to take action to make it happen. If you are interested, again, I would be happy to offer a free consultation, one-to-one, 1 hour. And if you'd like to learn more about this, you can simply send me an email. You've got my email address here. You can take a screenshot. Otherwise, it's very simple, andrea.pacini@ideasonstage.com. Send me a quick email, just blank email with the subject consultation, and then I'll get in touch to see if you qualify. And if that's the case, we'll go ahead. Okay. And again, I want to say huge thanks to our wonderful partners. Without you, this event wouldn't have been possible, or definitely wouldn't have been the same. So thank you very much. Again, I do want to encourage everybody to check out these wonderful organizations. Also check out the profiles of the speakers and the judges as well. And if there is one thing that I would really like you to take away from this event, is that remember that you can have the greatest idea in the world, and maybe that idea has the power to change the world, to make the world a better place. But if you can't, and I'm not talking about today's speakers, but in general, you have a great idea. If you can't communicate and present and pitch your ideas effectively, then I'm sorry, but that idea doesn't matter. And that's why we've organized this event. And also, last year, we had a few of you at the event. Last year, we did the first edition of the Good Pitch Summit. By the way, Sapna, a judge, was the winner of the first edition. And last year, I said that my dream is to get to 2030 celebrating altogether the 10th anniversary of the Good Pitch Summit. And this year, my dream has not changed. It's exactly the same. We just have 1 year closer to reaching it. So imagine if in 2030, we get all together, everybody celebrating the idea, the meaning, and the power behind the Good Pitch Summit. Remember, there are 2 strong beliefs behind this event. One belief that I think most of us share is that if you want to make an impact, the best thing you can do is to be an entrepreneur, a business leader who has a vision that goes beyond just profit, beyond just making money. Business as a force can and should be a force for good, but also the communication element. if you've got that great idea, you need to be able to communicate it in the most effective way. So I hope to see you next year. We are going to do it again, definitely next year, and then the year after, and then the year after, and the year after, all the way up to 2030, celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Good Pitch Summit. So thank you very much again, everybody. Joe, Rose, the speakers, the judges, and our wonderful partners. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you find it useful. I've got a 9 from Maria, and that's great. That's amazing. And check out the follow-up email with the virtual goodie bag for everybody. And in the meantime, all the very best. Let's keep in touch. Ciao.